In this last question, we're looking at Series 3 from October 2021. And we have a curve, we're given f prime of x. So we're going to do the double prime. So you can just derive there, that first part. You'll notice with the second part, there's no variable, there's no x in the 1 plus k to the minus 2 part. So we don't actually have to deal with that. You can see times a half there as well for the chain rule. Simplify that and you get what we have there now. We have a minimum point of x is equal to 2. So at the minimum point, that should be greater than 0. So now we're going to take our f double prime of x and plug in or substitute in x is equal to 2. From there we can simplify. 1/2 times 2 is 1. And also, we have it greater than 0 here. I'm going to change the inequality to get rid of that negative sign. So we'll end up with 1 plus k to the minus 3 is less than 0. So 1 plus k is less than 0. So k will be less than minus 1. So you just move or cancel your 1 on both sides there. So k has to be a negative number. It can't be minus 1. So k is less than minus 1. And that's our answer there for part A. Part B is now given that k is equal to minus 3. And a minimum point is at 2 and 3.5. Find f of x. Okay, so we go back to our original f prime of x function, and we replace the value of k, the unknown, with minus 3. I'm going to simplify that down as well. So once we've got that, we can integrate to find f of x. So the first part will remain the same, and then of course minus 2 to the minus 2 is 1/4. And that's that. So now from there we can integrate f prime of x dx. So we've 1/2 x minus 3 to the minus 2, and the minus 1/4 to 1, we'll say. So now we integrate that. So our exponent, you take 1 away, so we have minus 1 underneath as well. Remember with the chain rule, so divide by 1/2 or multiply by 2. I might change that there actually. So multiply by 2, and then minus x over 4 plus c, our constant of integration. Simplified, just the first part there. So from there we get f of x is equal to what we have here. So f of x is y. Y is 3.5. We were given that in the question. So 3.5 is equal to 2 times 1/2 is 1, so 1 minus 1/2 plus c. So just replace x there as well with 2. So we get c is equal to 3. And from there just plug that in. It's just that last bit you want to make sure for your examiner. Write down the whole thing. So what you were given for f of x and then plus 3 at the end. Make it easy for your examiner to see your answer basically. Now have a quick look back over everything just to make sure. So we plugged in that value. We got that part. We used our integration. We examined that. We got our constant there. Put it all together. That seems right, yeah. Just making sure. Always check back over it as you go along. Part C, we have to find the coordinates of another stationary point. So we were given a minimum of x equals 2. And we also have to determine its nature. We'll use the second derivative for that. So just looking back over everything, make sure. So we're going to use our f prime of x, and I'll just redo something basically. I'll plug in our k was equal to -3, just to make it clear. So we should end up with the half x minus 3 to the -2, and it was equal to 1/4. That's what we had in the previous, one of the previous questions there. So -2 to the -2 is 1/4. I'm going to invert that exponent so that we get 1/2 x minus 3 to the 2 is equal to 4. It's just easier to deal with, of course. And we're simplifying from there anyway. You can cancel the square on both sides, so you'll get the root of 4. So 1/2 x minus 3 is equal to plus or minus 2. Half x is equal to 5, so x equals 10. I just reconfiguring in my 1/2 x. Forgot the x there. So 1/2 x is equal to 5, x is equal to 10. The other one is half x is equal to 1, so x is equal to 2. We have that already. So we just need the minimum we were looking for, which is x is equal to 10. So we plug in our 10 into y, or f of x, and we get the y value. And we get -1/2. So x is 10 and y is -1/2. Excellent. And now for the nature, for determining the nature, we always look at the second derivative. So we were given that as well in part A. So f double prime of x, or whatever way we want to put the notation. And k was, of course, -3. You can put that in as well. So -1/2, 10 times 10, -3, all to the -3, the exponent. So you plug in, you get -2. So it's always going to be negative. Whatever stage you notice that, simplify it down as far as you need to go. So it's less than 0, it's negative. So your nature is a maximum. And that was the last question for October 2021, Series 3.